You, the WBC, think that you better than everybody, don't you? So since you, the WBC, and you got the green belt, which don't mean it, the real belt is the ring belt, which is free, motherfucker. What are you talking about?
Can you talk about the difficulty of this decision?
Yes, it's very sad. It is very complicated to have to vacate a title, to withdraw recognition of a champion hurts very deeply.
This is what TKO's saying. Why do you have to pay them? Don't pay them. Don't adhere to their crazy rules.
Terence Crawford has called for a boycott of the WBC after they stripped Shakur Stevenson of his world title. He slammed the organization for its arrogance, rigid rules, and excessive sanctioning fees, accusing them of exploiting fighters instead of supporting them.
$1,000. What makes you so motherfucking better than any other sanctioned bodies? Huh? To that question. What makes you better than the WBO, the IBF, or the WBC?
Tensions exploded between Terence Crawford and WBC President Mauricio Suleiman after Crawford stated he could take the belt whenever he wanted. He accused Suleiman of imposing a pointless $100,000 fee on Shakur Stevenson, calling it nothing more than a money grab.
Take the fucking belt. It's a trophy anyway.
Mauricio Suleiman stripped Shakur Stevenson of his WBC title, following a similar move previously made against Terence Crawford. The WBC claimed Stevenson violated its rules, failed to meet financial demands, and therefore lost his official championship status.
WBC super lightweight, then he unified and became undisputed in welterweight against WBC champion, who was Spence. Great fight. He petitioned to fight a final elimination bout in super welterweight against Madrimov and remain champion in welter. The WBC supported him. He did not comply with the rules. Then he moves up to super middle and makes the fight of the century, beats Canelo, makes $50 million or around that. The WBC absolutely is not going to charge 3% of such an amount. We made a very clear 0.6%, which is...
Shakur Stevenson took to X, expressing his frustration by saying, "I just paid these dudes after my last fight. Why am I being asked for another $100,000 right now?" He suggested the WBC was targeting him because of its ongoing issues with Terence "Bud" Crawford. Crawford echoed those concerns, stating that officials live comfortably off fighters who endure brutal punishment in the ring, only to be charged unnecessarily.
You know, and guess who gotta pay for it? Us fighters. We paying for y'all to come out here, have the time of y'all life, stay in the best hotels of y'all life, and it's all done on our dime. It's done on our dime. Do that sound right to y'all? It's crazy, ain't it? We the one out there getting battered, knocked upside our head, and every time we step foot in the ring, we gotta pay them a sanction fee like they the government. We getting taxed.
Shakur Stevenson didn't hold back, calling the $100,000 demand a payment to crooks who don't deserve it. He added that he would rather give that money to his loved ones than hand it over to the WBC. Stevenson pointed out that the organization had nothing to do with his fight and accused them of being bitter over their lack of control. Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. weighed in, saying that stripping a champion's belt under these circumstances is unfair, disrespectful.
A lot of people were really upset about it. And
I don't really want to get too deep into that. All I'm gonna say is it's wrong for him to be stripped if he didn't even defend the title.
Yeah.
Chris Mannix strongly condemned the WBC for demanding excessive fees from Shakur Stevenson, calling the situation disgusting and unjust. He emphasized that no matter how much money Stevenson earns, it belongs to him alone, and no organization has a moral claim over it. Mannix argued that the entire sanctioning system is broken, pointing out that fighters already risk their health, endure punishment, and dedicate their lives to boxing.
You can possibly get. And for the WBC to do this now, when sanctioning bodies are under attack, when the sanctioning system is under attack, this is a glaring example about why maybe they shouldn't exist. Maybe they shouldn't be in boxing if you are going to reach into the pocket of a fighter like Shakur Stevenson asked for $100,000. According to Shakur, there's been no comment on this from the WBC. I asked for one. I talked to a member of their staff. I said, tell me what's going on here. And all I've seen is the Instagram post of the WBC saying they were stripping him. To reach into the pocket of a fighter for a fight that you have nothing to do with and asking for $100,000. I don't care how much money Shakur Stevenson made that night. That's his money. That belongs in his pocket. The WBC had nothing to do with it. It is disgusting. Disgusting that they stripped Shakur Stevenson of that belt. And Shakur would be right to never fight for a
WBC's controversy with Terence Crawford began when he refused to pay a $300,000 fee following his fight with Canelo Alvarez. Many observers supported Crawford, arguing he was well within his rights. He questioned why the WBC demanded such a massive sum when other organizations like the IBF, WBA, and WBO accepted their standard fees without complaint. Crawford revealed that while he offered the WBC the usual 3% cut, the organization rejected it and demanded 6%. Far more than any other sanctioning body. Analysts noted that aside from awarding a belt, these organizations often
Crawford's well within his rights to say that I ain't giving you $300,000. Why? Like, why am I giving you $300,000? What for? And don't talk about my past. Like Mauricio Sullivan saying Terence Crawford made 50 million. What's that got to do with you? No. And what I like as well about Terence, he said, look, I gave the IBF money. I gave the WBA money. I gave the WBO money. We haven't heard any of those organizations moan about the amount Terence Crawford gave to them. They're like, oh, we'll take it. Because ultimately, what are they doing? Apart from strapping a belt around your waist, what are they doing? And we'll get to that as well. So he then tried to give the WBC that amount of money as well. They clearly said, no, we're not taking that. We want a bit more. And then they're like, okay, normally we take 3%, but 3% of 50 million would have been too much. So you know what? We'll give you, we'll allow you to pay us points.
Shakur Stevenson remains undefeated, and no opponent has ever taken his belt inside the ring. Despite this, the WBC declared his title vacant after he moved up in weight, claiming his absence created a void in the division. This distinction is crucial. The belt was removed administratively, not through defeat. Stevenson's undefeated record and elite status remain untouched, reinforcing that this decision reflects bureaucracy.
Inactive at that weight class. So, despite nobody beating Shakur Stevenson, he is a undefeated fighter. Nobody took his belt. But for whatever reason, the WBC has decided him moving up has created some type of void and have now made and declared his title vacant, allowing the division to successfully move forward with new contenders. So in this case, Stevenson, he didn't lose his belt in the ring. Nobody beat him. He's still undefeated. The title was vacated administratively, which is a difference. And we need to establish the facts from the fiction. So nobody beat Stevenson. It doesn't really hurt his career, his official box rec. And it says he's suspended by the commission indefinitely. So I'm not sure if he has some type of injury, but usually when it says indefinitely, they got to get clearance from a doctor to come back. And again, this could be possibly from his fight with Shakur Stevenson. So this is a developing story, and we'll see ultimately how it plays out, what the WBC officially decides to do in terms of who's next and what's next. So what are the facts? What does this mean? Shakur Stevenson was not stripped for any type of misconduct. Shakur was not penalized per se, and Shakur Stevenson is not suspended. So it simply reflects the WBC has considered him no longer active at lightweight at this time. A bit political. That's the only thing that I can think of.
Analyst Oladipo described the WBC's decision to strip Shakur Stevenson of his 135-pound title as unusual and highly controversial. Stevenson had made it clear that his move up in weight was temporary and that he intended to return to the division. Despite this, the WBC declared the title vacant, citing inactivity. Oladipo highlighted the organization's rigid and bureaucratic nature, noting that even though Stevenson's last fight was not a WBC title bout, he was still required to pay 50%.
Blast WBC and responds to being stripped of a 135-pound title. This is a bit wild. It's a bit wild. And the reason it's a bit wild, so many different reasons actually, but one of the biggest reasons is that Shakur has always said, I want to go up to fight Teo, but I want to come back down to 135. So basically, he's almost telling the WBC, let me go up there, I will come back down. And with what the WBC are going through right now, and this battle with Zuffa, where, you know, they've got some real big players and power over there, and they're saying F the belts, and WBC are fighting, saying no, the belts mean stuff. The last thing you want to do is have a public spat, a public back and forth with one of the biggest names in boxing right now. Now, Shakur Stevenson is one of the biggest names in boxing. And the thing about Shakur as well, you piss him off, this guy will go straight to social media and make it known that he's pissed off. And that's what he